Hey YouTube, what is up? I was finally able to get my Zoodiac deck. It took a little longer than I anticipated, but I was able to get the deck in Europrint, which I fucking love Europrint. It just looks so much nicer. Either way, let's bust into this deck profile. First off, I play the obvious combo of 3 Terratop and 1 Takatamborg. This just opens your deck up so much, it's ridiculous. You get a free rank 3 without using your normal summon. This card is definitely going to get hit, or they're going to ban Invoker because it's just way too powerful. If you open something like Zoodiac Barrage and Terratop, it's even better because you basically guarantee yourself a Totem Bird and then Drancia, any other rank 4. It's literally just ridiculous. You get a spell and trap, negate a monster, or face-up card pop. It's too much. It really is too much, and I can definitely see why this card's going to get hit. I mean, you could even make Break Sword in a really dire situation. It's just so handy to use this card. I can't believe how much power it really has. They might even errata Takatamborg or something. They got to do something to hit it. It's way too good. Next up, I play 3 Thoroughblade because I'm playing pure Zoodiacs. I'm not playing the Kaiju Zoodiac, I guess, combo deck, whatever you want to call it. I'm just playing pure Zoodiac until basically Takatamborg gets hit, or Terratop gets hit, or Invoker gets hit, and then I'm going to switch to the Kaiju engine. But for now, I play 3 Thoroughblade. I want as many Zoodiacs as I can in my hand, and this really does help your monsters a lot because of the 1600 attack. It really pumps them up. It allows you to go for the OTKs with Boar and stuff like that, so there's a lot of plays you can make, and I like to run 3 of these just because it also helps you dig deeper into your deck. Next up, I then play 3 Whiptail because this is the card that lets you basically surprise OTK your opponent. If you don't know what Whiptail does, pretty much it can attach itself when it's on the field or in your hands under any Xyz monster, and then that monster gains the effect of having any monster it battles be banished after the battle is conducted, which is ridiculous. Even if your monster is destroyed, that card gets banished. So it's basically non-targeting removal for any problem cards. That's really strong. On top of that, it's not once per turn, so you could have like 3 of these on the field, attack for 36, then put it under an Xyz and give that Xyz monster a boost of 3600. It's crazy what you can do with Whiptail, and I really like Whiptail the most. I mean, obviously, you know, Rat Pierre is the strongest card because it opens up the combo, but Whiptail is one of my favorite cards just because you surprise your opponent so much with it. Now, this is just the obvious card that lets you go into any rank 4 plus Drancia, and that's just way too strong. People are saying this is going to get hit in TCG, and I say there's no way. The deck came out like a week ago. A YCS is coming up. I expect a ban list. Yeah, but I really don't think Rat's going to get hit. If they hit Rat, that's just dumb. And then onto the hand traps that I play 3 Ghost Ogre main deck. I've actually, in times of dire crisis, had to normal summon this after having a level 3 monster on board, like my Takatamborg or something like that, where I don't have the combo, and I've actually used this to Xyz for Invoker. It was a very dire situation, but you know, Ghost Ogre comes in handy on either player's turn. You can pop their Barrage, that you can pop their Drancia, and just, you know, shuts them down completely. It's a really good interruption card because a lot of cards are weak to interruption in this format. I really do think Zoodiacs is kind of a glass cannon. If you let them go off, it's crazy strong, but if you can interrupt them in any way, it really does hurt them a lot. And then I also play 2 Max C. I was thinking of main decking DD Crow, but I really don't think that that's great. It's great in the Zoodiac matchup, but you know, it's not really good in most other matchups. Like Paleozoic, it really doesn't matter that much, to be honest with you. 1 DD Crow is not going to stop most decks. It'll stop Zoodiac if you hit the Rat Pierre, but that's really it. So I do side deck DD Crow, but I think for now these are my main deck hand traps, and once the new Ghost Ash and Winter, whatever the fuck it is, comes out, I'm definitely going to be playing 3 of these and 3 of those because that card just shuts down everything. And next up for my spells, I play the obvious 3 Barrage. You need 3 Barrage. I really hope this card doesn't get hit. It's literally jumping to like $100 now before the YCS, which is pretty impressive, you know, price range, which is pretty impressive price range wise. I mean, the card is it just opens up your entire combo. I could see why it, you know, warrants the price. It's just, I'm so glad I picked these up beforehand, technically. I also then play 3 Tenki. I would have had ultis, but I'm not really sure. I really do think Tenki has a chance of being hit. Oh, and before I forget to mention it, I might consider running a Fire Fist Bear. That card is actually very handy, and it's a good way to out vanities and stuff like that. So I'm considering running that in tandem with the Tenkis. But if Tenki gets hit, I probably won't run the Bear because then it's a really limited play. But it's really good. Some decks also play 1 Tensu, and I think that's not a bad idea at all. It's just I think you need the Bear with a Tensu, and I don't have the Bear yet, so that's why I'm not running Tensu. Then I play 3 Cosmic Cyclone. I play Cosmic Cyclone because it basically just stops Barrage, stops the Metal Foe matchup, stops a lot of things. It really does interrupt a lot. You don't want your opponent having pretty much this in the grave, because if they pop it or it gets destroyed by card effect, it can put itself under a Zoodiac as an Xyz. If you can banish their Zodiac combo, which is the trap, they pretty much don't have any other recycle play besides Daigusto Emerald, and then you can shut them down from there. This card is really strong, and the fact that it banishes is great. I don't mind paying the 1000 life points at all. It's also a really good way to force your opponent because you basically go 1-for-1 with the back row. I would play Twin Twisters in this deck, but you really don't end with too much hand advantage, and usually the cards in your hand are something you don't want to ditch off of Twin Twisters, usually stuff like D-Barrier, Strike, or Vanities. So I like this more. I like not having to lose card advantage, and most of the time people don't set too much this format, so it's not too bad. And then for the last 3 of, I play 3 Forbidden Chalice. This is great because if you normal summon your monster or do any play that warrants your opponent activating their Drancia, you just Forbidden Chalice the Drancia, and then its effect is basically negated, which is absolutely fantastic for you. You don't want them to get Drancia off, you don't want them to interrupt your combo, and you just made them waste their one monster, their one interruption that they really do rely on. So that's really, really good. You could also hit them with this in their turn. Let's say they do the Tigress combo to get the double Momorat on field, or Rapier, whatever you want to call it. You can just use this and hit the Tigress, and then they don't get the effect off, which is really, really strong. It just leaves them with a dead monster, and then they have to put another Xyz on top of it. Usually the, I think it's the bull, the cow, whatever you want to call it. They usually have to put that on top and then go for some subpar play. So I really like this. It's a good way to interrupt your opponent, and it's a good way to protect yourself at the same time. And then for my 1-of spells, I play 1 Enemy Controller. This is my Spice deck for this deck. 1 Insta-Fusion, because we still have Norden, and it's pretty fucking broken what you can do. And then Raigeki. Oh, that's Dark Hole and Raigeki. Now, the reason that I play Enemy Controller is because if I normal summon a monster and my opponent activates the Drancia to pop it and I don't have any other play, I can use Enemy Controller, tribute that monster before it gets popped by Drancia, and then I steal their Drancia and I do my Zoo combo on top of their Drancia, and they lose it completely, which is really, really strong. Insta-Fusion is more of a recovery play because if my monster gets popped and I don't have something like Enemy Controller or Chalice to stop it, I use Insta-Fusion, bring back that Zoo monster, and then just redo the entire combo again. And then you could also, if you wanted to, Xyz into any, rank 4 with Norden and the level 4 you bring back. You can make Bull because that's just 2 level 4s, and you can do the Zoo combo on top of that. There's a lot of plays, and I do like the 1 Insta-Fusion, but this really does make me think Norden's going to get hit because this deck is way too strong with Norden, like incredibly strong. I do the Raigeki and the Dark Hole because sometimes you do have to go second. That's why I also main deck the Max C. So, it's just a good card to wipe board. This, I don't like opening like turn 2 or 3 because then I have my own monsters, but either way. And now onto my traps. I do play the 3D barrier. I really do think it's absolutely essential. You do run the risk of making your Drancia pretty much dead on the field, but you stop your opponent's entire combo. You stop them from OTKing you, and that's really what you want. You just want to stop them completely, and that's what D-Barrier allows you to do. The only thing is this is pretty much useless against Infernoids. It doesn't do anything to them, but it's good because there's still the Pendulum matchup. There's still the Paleozoic Toad matchup, so you can go like Seize on that and stuff like that. I really do like this at 3 of in the deck. It's not too bad, and when I do draw it, it's almost always useful, so I never really feel like it's a subpar play. I then also play as a 1 spicy tech, Xyz Reborn. This is just another way to interrupt your opponent. Let's say they pop your Drancia and you have no recovery play or anything like that. You set Xyz Reborn, special back the Drancia, put this under it as material, and then on your opponent's turn you have another interruption they weren't expecting. Not many people even run this card or even, I guess, remember this card. I was playing it in my tellers and I fucking loved it, so I decided to throw it in this deck, and it's actually been pretty handy so far. I then also play 1 Vanities Emptiness, just because you could stop your opponent dead in their tracks. They normal summon Rapier, you'll flip Vanities, and unless they have like Raigeki Dark Hole, they're not doing anything, so that's really, really strong. And then for my last trap, I play 1 Zoodiac combo. This just allows you to recycle 5 back with different names and then shuffle it into your deck, and that brought on something I thought as well. I don't run it, but I think it might be important. Jar of Avarice, you really do need to recycle your materials, and if your Emerald gets hit, you're kind of screwed. So I'm thinking of putting in a Jar of Avarice. I don't have it in the deck yet, but I'm considering it. So, just want to let you guys know. And now onto the extra deck, which is pretty much the spice. This entire deck is based around the extra deck. I play 1 Elder Entity Norden. It's too strong in this deck, and it really does make me think it's going to get hit. This is a Invoker. I hate proxying cards, but my friend needed an Invoker to go to YCS, so I wasn't going to leave my friend hanging, so I gave him my Invoker. So, that is Invoker until next Saturday when he comes back from the YCS, pretty much. I then play 1 Totem Bird and 1 Breaksword to complete my rank 3s. Totem Bird is insanely strong. Breaksword, not so much, to be honest with you. I might switch this out for Grand Pulse because usually I only use this to pop back row anyway. But, for now, I'm keeping it as a Breaksword. But Totem Bird is quickly becoming one of my favorite Xyz to make, completely disregarding the Invoker. I really do love Totem Bird. It just stops anything, and it's so strong. Now onto the rank 4s. I play 1 Abyss Dweller because water is still a dangerous deck, and you can end with any rank 4 you want. and Drancia, so you can literally just lock out any water player. This is also great against Infernoids. It doesn't stop their special summoning because it's part of their, you know, inherent clause and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure it stops like Fairy Tale Snow, stops any of their graveyard effects, and that's, you know, really what you want to shut down with Infernoids is the grave. So I like to run one Abyss Dweller. I also play one Daigusto Emerald to recycle my materials. I am considering bumping this up to 2, but for now I'm going to keep it at 1. I play one Gagaga Samurai because this is the card that allows you to OTK your opponent in tandem with other cards. Usually with Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, this is how you OTK. I don't like running the Slumber right now just because I don't like dead drawing the Kaiju when I don't want them. And then if you draw, you know, 2 or 3 Kaiju, you can't use your Slumber because they're dead. So I do like Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, I just don't like drawing the Kaijus as much. And then for the Zoodiac core, that's pretty much in the extra deck, I play 2 Borbo. A lot of people forget that this card can allow you to OTK. This allows you to punch your opponent directly. If you just make your entire combo, put a bunch of shit under it, and then, you know, slap this on top, you can literally punch your opponent for like 7k if you have the right materials under it. Some people don't, you know, remember that. I was watching, I think it was the ARG, and some guy could have just, you know, slapped Borbo on top, but he did some weird roundabout play to OTK instead. But you could have just put Borbo on top of his stack and then just attacked his opponent directly for like 3600. People tend to forget that, and this is a really strong card, so people tend to sleep on it. I also play 2 Tigress because, you know, you need, or Tiger Mortar, I guess is the English name for it, but you really do need this card. This allows you to open up your entire combo pretty much. It's a way to almost play around Ghost Ogre. It's not great, but, you know, it makes your combos a little more effective if you get Ghost Ogred. So I do like to run 2 Tiger Mortar. I like to run 2 of almost all the Zoodiacs because you don't often have the opportunity to Daigusto Emerald them back. So in case you can't do that, you still have an entire play for another turn before you can make the Emerald again. So I like to run 2. I then also play 2 Broad Bull because he is really, really good. You can pull off 2 of these in 1 turn because usually if you open Insta-Fusion and Barrage, you can make 2 of these and you go +2 and you can search out 2 Viper, which allows you to actually OTK your opponent because this one requires only 2 level 4 monsters, so you can make it with Norden and any other, you know, level 4 you have in Grave, which is not that hard to do. And then on top of that, you can make the other one with just the regular Zoo combo, so you get 2 free searches, you go +2, and it really is a strong card. I really do like this card more than I thought. You could search out Thoroughblade, you could search out other cards, and you could just dig through your deck. You could even search out Rat Pierre if you open suboptimally and open something like just a Viper. So you normal summon the Viper, you know, do the combo with this and this and this, and then you can just detach the Borbo, and then on top of that you get your Mome Rep for the next turn. You still have a monster, you still end with Drancia. And that's what I really love about this deck. It's like even if you open shitty and only open 1 level 4 monster, you're automatically getting a Drancia and a search, which is really, really strong. And then on top of that, I play 2 Dryden because it is the heart and soul of this deck. You need to interrupt your opponent, and this is what allows you to do it. This is the best, I think, rank 4 that's come out in a long time just because of how it's summoned. You can literally normal summon a level 4 Zoo monster and just slap this on top if you wanted to, and usually you don't because you want to go into the other combo, which allows you to go even more plus. This deck is just really, really strong. And for those of you that stuck around to the end, I have a little surprise. My friend called me up because he was opening some cases. So here's what opening about 3 cases, or I guess half of 3 cases of Raging Tempest looks like. Thanks again, and if you really enjoyed it, don't forget to click subscribe because it's free, it's fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Yo, this is like the most Yu-Gi-Oh money I've ever seen in one place.
The only thing I need him to do is
Right here's what, like $800 in these 9 cards?
It's insane.
And now onto the Ultras.
Everything else like
So
I'm getting
many.
my European barrages from Kevin, so I don't have to pick up that swap. I just have to swap.
And that's just extra. Damn, dude.
So I just have to swap on these.
Yu-Gi-Oh's a fun fucking game, bro.